Hi guys, I'm James Arthur, the co-founder of Seatopia. I'm super excited to share the Sashimi Date Night box with you. This is our first attempt at doing a little bit more in-depth education with our customers to show you how to use the product so that you really become empowered as chefs at home, because we're giving you the same ingredients we've been given to these Michelin star chefs. They don't do much with these products other than let them just shine on their own. These are amazing quality products. You don't need to do much more than cut them really nicely, hit them with a little bit of citrus, a little bit of salt, a little bit of sweetness, and they really shine. So let's dive in and talk about your sashimi date night kit. So, sushi grade product. I'm just going to take 1 second to talk about this. If a fish in the wild is foraging around and consuming let's just say shrimp or crustaceans or other bottom feeders that have parasites in them, they're going to have parasites. That's the reason why sushi chefs don't serve wild caught king salmon as sushi. Everything gets frozen for the sake of killing the parasites. Our fish are not foraging, they are being fed a GSO 1000 certified clean diet that is certified low in mercury, certified free of any parasites or pathogens, and then we also freeze everything, and we have the certificate of analysis, and it's all shipped to you in a very controlled environment with dry ice, with temperature trackers to ensure that it gets to you in a clean, healthy manner. So I hope that you also recognize that there's a big difference between the fish that we send you and the fish that's available at most grocery stores. Okay, you're going to need great tools. You're only as good as your tools, they say. You need a very sharp knife, ideally a Japanese knife, a knife that is sharp, that has a single bevel, that is not going to require sawing to get through the fish. You don't want to put pressure on delicate pieces of fish. You want the knife to do the work. You're also going to need paper towels. I use a lot of paper towels. You could use regular towels, but really the idea of wicking moisture is critically important in order to have a great experience. You're also in your Seatopia box going to find some really special items. In this lower right hand corner here, you can see photos of the items that you should find in your box. A super specialty 1-year aged Japanese Yuzu Kosho, one of the oldest makers of soy sauce, this heirloom varietal soy sauce, and this beautiful little mister for atomizing and distributing evenly the soy. You don't want to make your fish swimming and drowning in soy. You want to just delicately mist it. Some really special artisan pickled ginger and an awesome caviar. These things are going to complement the sushi grade seafood that is in your box. All right. In your box, you should receive one beautiful piece of Ora King salmon, one bag of sushi grade Peruvian scallops, and 2 pieces of sushi grade cobia. It's going to be ample to have sashimi for at least 2 people. All right. Defrosting is super important. When you receive your product, it's frozen. When you're ready to cook with it, I want you to take it out of the bag. It's still frozen. Take it out of the bag, wrap it in paper towels, put it on a rack, and put it in your fridge. In the refrigerator, it's going to slowly defrost, and any excess water content that's in there is going to wick into the paper towel. When the paper towel is soaked through, you're going to change it. Ideally, it should defrost in the refrigerator, wrapped in dry paper towels, and when it's thoroughly dry, then you have a great product to cook with. If you try to fast defrost it under cold water, you're going to completely degrade the quality and integrity of the texture. The texture needs to be optimized. The sashimi experience is all about mouthfeel. It's texture, it's delicate. Please take the time to defrost it properly. Use a paper towel in the refrigerator, change the paper towels. Might take 6 hours for it to defrost. Take your time, plan ahead. All right. Slicing. Your knife is not sharp enough. Sharpen it some more, and then some more. The sharper it is, the sexier the sashimi pieces are going to be. You really want those beautiful edges of the sashimi. It's going to have a nicer mouthfeel, nicer texture. If you're sawing through the fish, it's going to have a different texture, and it's also going to look differently. All right, let's talk about slicing. This is where the art really happens. Everything else is prep. I can't express this enough. A sharp knife is paramount. If you don't have a sharp knife, your sashimi is going to look mushy. It's going to taste different. You're going to have a very different experience. You need a very sharp knife, and then sharpen it right before you're working with it. Sharpen it every time right before you make sashimi to have the best experience. Why? Because you want to use the blade to cut through the fish. You don't want to use pressure. You shouldn't have to apply downward pressure. You shouldn't have to saw back and forth. You start at the very top of the blade, and then you pull it, and the weight of and the sharpness of the knife slices through. You'll notice in these photos that there's no little warbly edges or any little trim. If there is, when you start with your piece of cobia, for example, if it's not a perfect square, you just trim the edges. Those little trim pieces in a sushi restaurant, they make little hand rolls. They do different things with the trim. I feed it to my dog. He loves me, especially when it's sushi night. He knows that he also is part of the date. That said, salmon as well. You need to remove the skin. You need to take out the bloodline that's down the middle. You're just working with these premium, beautiful pieces of sashimi because it's all about the way they look, the way they feel, the texture. So start with a sharp knife, trim any excess pieces, make sure they're nice and square or rectangular. You're going to slice them very thin, thinner for pieces of fish that have more firm texture like cobia, thicker for pieces of fish that are softer like salmon. The Ora King salmon in particular, it's basically imagine a piece of butter. You want the texture to melt on your mouth. You don't want it too thick to where it feels excessive. You don't want it too thin to where you're really not feeling the sort of fatty, luscious roundness of that. So these are two examples. You also have the scallops in there. It's worth noting that my preferred way to do the scallops for sashimi is to butterfly them. So you take each scallop and you cut it right down the middle, 98% of the way across, and then you fold it open, and you have these beautiful little sashimi pieces of scallop. So yeah, you're gonna prep that stuff, and then we're gonna figure out how to plate it. Plating it is entirely up to you, but less is more, minimalist. Present the fish in a way that is minimalist, elegant, and not drowning in sauce. If you had a B or C quality fish and you needed to cover it in soy and teriyaki, you might be at an all-you-can-eat sushi place, but you're not. You have gourmet ingredients here, so just mist it with the soy sauce that we gave you, the artisan soy sauce. Take a dab of the 1 year aged Yuzu Kosho and put it a little bit on every single piece of fish so that has just the right amount of heat and citrus and soy saltiness on each piece of fish, and hit it with a little bit of the beautiful caviar that we gave you. Every little dab is going to add a little bit of extra umami, a little bit of fat, a little bit of pop. It's going to just create these fun experiences. There is enough fish in this kit to cover multiple plates. So you can just do multiple rounds. This is an example of one first round. You could, with the amount of fish that we gave you, easily do 3 or more plates of sashimi-grade sashimi, or sushi-grade sashimi. So it's really up to you how you plate it, but you have amazing ingredients. Don't overpower them. Let the ingredients shine. What's next? Let us know how it goes. We'd love to hear from you. This is a community of people who are really passionate about supporting regenerative aquaculture, who are excited to share the recipes that we're doing together. So if you get a chance to post something on social media and tag us, we'd love to see it. Share that with our other friends in the community. Let us know, and we're going to be doing more of these. I'd love to get your feedback on this. We're going to try to go in depth on what we're calling our Sushi 101 course. This is sort of just an introductory to what you're getting in the sashimi date night box, but we're going to go deeper. So definitely follow along, follow us on social media and on YouTube. I look forward to having a dialogue with you about becoming more competent chefs. All right, we would love to hear from you guys. This is our first foray into our Sushi 101 course. We're going to dive deep on each of these subjects, on slicing, on sharpening, on plating, on pairings. So this is sort of just a primer on what came in your box and how to get started making sashimi. I hope that you'll follow us along on YouTube and on social media. Share your recipes and your photos. We are also in this process of learning how to make it fun and beautiful. I'm going to be sharing my nigiri journey, which is the technique that takes a lifetime to master, but we're all kind of working together to support these regenerative farms, celebrate better practices in aquaculture and changing our relationship to the ocean, and also having fun eating really beautiful, delicious, and healthy seafood. So I hope that you'll join in the dialogue and share your photos and continue this conversation online. So thanks for supporting Seatopia, and we'll be in touch. Aloha.